Hello everybody, what's going on? And welcome back to the Road to Glory Career Mode, episode 2 of season number 2 here for you on Christmas Day. Here's to hoping you've had a fantastic Christmas, unless of course you're watching this afterwards. Then here's to hoping as well that you have a good new year if you're watching it that far in the future. But today's episode features a new Premier League loan signing. Of that you're about to see in just a few moments. We've got Premier League opposition as well in the Carabao Cup when we take on Manchester City. And we have a very tough run of League One games coming up as well. So sit back, relax and enjoy this episode of the Road to Glory Career Mode. Now, I did mention this at the end of the previous video. We just sold Kitching, which meant we had to pick up a new centre-back. I saw Jacinho in the free agents list, and I said that I'll probably go ahead and sign him. If it means us not having to spend any money to bring in a new signing at that centre-back role to play as squad depth, then I'll go ahead and do that. So I went ahead and did it. After that, I was looking around the comment section to see what the general thoughts were about new signings into the Forest Green Rovers side. And the most liked comment was to bring Mason Greenwood to the club. Now, Manchester United would not let him go on a permanent deal. I did have the money, I think, but they just weren't willing to talk about a deal with us. So we ended up going in for a loan offer. They accepted it, and we went into game here because at this point, although Manchester United had accepted the loan deal, it was up to Mason Greenwood whether or not he wanted to join the club. So you'll see after this, he does in fact decide to join us here on loan for the year. So Mason Greenwood is in. That now means we've got Greenwood, we've got Guruzzetta, and we've got Williams all fighting it out for that striker spot. So it's a nice problem to have. It gives us a lot of options as well moving forward into what will be a very busy season for us in this upcoming season. But nevertheless, we move into the game at number 1 then, as we took on Doncaster away from home. And 8 minutes in, we had the lead. Bukayo Saka converting a low cross at the back post. And then into the 27th minute, Lopez combined with Curtis, who found Guruzzetta, for him to find the bottom corner to make it 2-0 Forest Green. So we were running away with things here in the early stages of the game, and Doncaster needed a response. The question is, would they get it? Well, they tried to in the second half, their best chance falling the way of Thomas as he had the shot, which went wide of the post. But with about half an hour to play, Saka again, great work down this right-hand side, laid it into the feet of Lopez. And when he's in these positions, Lopez just does that, doesn't he? He just doesn't miss the target. Although, I'm bigging him up now. Wait till you see what happens a bit later on in today's video. Nevertheless, a 3-0 lead in the game, and I was very confident we were going to see this one out. And as again, we had another opportunity. White, again, down this right-hand side. Saka was getting a lot of success down the right-hand side, and as soon as he made the substitution for Ollie White, he was finding the same. Pulled it across, and I think it was Curtis who hit the woodwork. But it didn't matter in the end. A 3-0 victory, a great way to start the day for us as well. Going over to shake the Doncaster manager's hand and grab 3 points from the game. But then came the real tough game for us, because at the new lawn we welcomed Manchester City. So not only is it Premier League opposition, it is one of the best clubs in England, and this is only round 3. I know I've stated in the past that I am not interested in the Carabao Cup, and that very much remains the case here, but if it's Man City, you have to play it, even if we probably are expecting to lose this game. So I wanted to see what kind of team they were going to play, and you might recognise a fair few of those City players, because Pep Guardiola named a strong City side. I was quite surprised when I saw who was actually in it, but for our team then, here it is on the screen. We've got Mitov in goal, Mitchell, Rawson, Jose Antonio and Mills as the back 4, Winchester, Lopez, Laqueda, and of course Curtis. Greenwood starts against Manchester City, of course coming from the red side of Manchester on loan here. Maybe he will grab a goal to instantly make himself a hero in Forest Green colours, but there's the City lineup anyways. What a team it is, and look at the bench too. Leroy Sané, Gabriel Jesus. So not only is it their strong starting 11, they've got quality to bring on as well. And they made their case known from the very start. We were put under so much pressure in the game. After 11 minutes, Kevin De Bruyne going close with that shot there. Then he had a free kick, which he ended up jumping over, leaving it to Aguero, who struck the post. And at this point, it was survival mode really for us. Just try and not let them make this embarrassing because they were piling on the pressure. Again, Aguero getting through, squeezing it past Mitov. Canadell there, though, just about to stop it crossing the line. But they didn't just have it all their way. We did create a couple of chances. Curtis with our first, rising there to meet that cross, but headed it over in the end. And then, just after the break, Lopez picked it up, played a great through ball through to Ronan Curtis. He had the shot, palmed back by Ederson, into the path of Diego Lopez. And the Spaniard made it Forest Green 1, City 0. I bet you didn't expect this scoreline once we started the game off and you saw how the first half was going for us. Unbelievably, and you can see Pep's reaction there, we were leading. And it was that case of now, do I kind of sit everybody back and defend? Or do we just play the way we've been playing? Well, Pep reacted by making a substitution, bringing off Aguero, throwing on Gabriel Jesus, but it didn't matter because after 90 minutes of football here at the New Lawn, we'd taken on one of England's best sides and knocked them out of the Carabao Cup. A typical old-fashioned smash and grab, get the goal, defend with your lives, and it had worked. And to say the very least, we were buzzing after that result. Look at how the ground erupted. It was as if we just won the league. That was the level of celebration going on from the fans. You can see it there. They went nuts after full time, and understandably so. Even though we are League One, it's not that much of a giant killing, but for us to have beaten them, it says a lot about the project that we are building here at Forest Green. And I'm sure Pep had some very nice words to say about the team as well after the game. Yes, City dominated the game, but we won it. So who cares how City got on with the actual game itself? But as we end off deadline day here, I just wanted to show you some of the top deals around the world. They won't really affect us at this early stage of the series, but I thought it'd be quite cool to see who is signing for which club around the world and whatnot. So you can see like the top 5 deals and who's gone where. There was actually Milinkovic-Savic. There was also, I believe, was it Bentancur has gone somewhere? Was it Bentancur? I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, Milinkovic-Savic was definitely in there as one of the big signings out of the window. So as we went into the final post-con match, before it, we had a game in the leasing.com trophy. It was Burton Albion. I simmed the game. We won it 5-0. So we then went into the away game in League One against them, high on confidence, and Bukayo Saka, after 13 minutes, broke through, hit the post with his first effort, goal gaping, open goal, hit the post with his second effort. I was shaking my head at this point, and I was then even more annoyed when they took the lead, Burton Albion. Remember, we'd just beaten them 5-0 in the sim game. I completely understand they probably didn't play a strong team for that game in the leasing.com trophy. Who really cares about it? But then to be 1-0 down after Saka hits the woodwork twice, the pressure was on. And then they hit the woodwork again. They could have been 2-0 up in this game. And I will say, Burton Albion probably deserved to win this match, but it didn't help the frustration any more than it really needed to, because then Williams gets through and completely whiffs his shot. I was fuming. Like, I don't know how we did this. We just come from beating Man City, then a 5-0 win, to losing 1-0 to Burton Albion. That just shows you how much you can't take those results for granted. It was a great result against City, but then we were brought right back down to earth in the league against Burton. But let's see what the rest of the episode brings. Time now for the visit of Coventry, as we are in the top 6 right now of League One. 6 games in, but we've only scored 8 goals. So we need to find our attacking rhythm pretty soon. For our front 3, we've got Curtis, Guruzzetta and Saka, all above 70 rated now, so the team is coming along very nicely. In terms of growth as well, we've had quite a bit out of a fair few players. Laquerda's gone up by 1. Our centre-back, our Spanish centre-back, who I can't say his name, but he's gone up by 2. He started at 60 rated. We've got Greenwood, who's only just come in on loan and already gone up by 2 overalls as well. He's here for the year, remember, on that loan deal. But in terms of our attackers now, we've got 3 very good strikers, Guruzzetta, Greenwood and Williams. So if we can't score goals, there's something wrong with us, especially when you've got Saka and Curtis on the wings making things happen. So, the visit of Coventry, let's see what result we can get from the game, as we would like the win. Coventry are in mid-table at the moment, so in terms of league position, we're slightly favourites for the game, but as we saw against Burton, that doesn't always work. Saka, Lopez into Guruzeta. Great hold-up play as well. Now Curtis for Lopez, but it's behind him. Can he still make it here, though? Lopez, he gets it through towards Guruzeta. I don't think he meant to, but Guruzeta gets the shot away. And it's the outside of the post for Forest Green. We must show an improvement on that Burton game that we just played. Guruzeta's left-footed effort back off the outside of the post and out of play for a goal kick. Curtis throwing into the feet of Lopez, back towards Renan Curtis. Curtis down the left-hand side, delivers the cross. Saka should keep it, and does. Winchester's there, and that is much better by Forest Green. A little bit of composure finally from us. The cross wasn't brilliant from Curtis, but he found Saka, who brought it down, pulled it back, and there's Carl Winchester, who I have to say has not had a very good first half of football here, Winchester, but he scored the goal that's put us in front in the game. And Coventry have been on the back foot for the majority of this first half and are now behind as well. Godden's ball to Jabello, pulls it across like our goal, but we just about get a touch on it. And it was vital we did. But here come Coventry again then as they start this second half very strongly indeed. Lacerda's there though to intercept that attempted ball. Now Mitchell can find Lopez, who can find Saka. Will the offside flag stay down? I think it will. It's a 3-on-2 here for Forest Green Rovers. Saka, he chose the wrong pass. Tried to pull it back for Lopez. Maybe he should have just smashed it across towards Curtis. That's what I mean about we need this cutting edge because we can't be wasting and passing up opportunities like that. Here is White, now trying to find the run of Curtis, which he's done quite well here. And it remains 1-0 as we go in search of this second goal. Curtis pulling it back towards Winchester again. It doesn't quite go for him, but it falls for Greenwood, who does really well and tries to feed it across. We just made two changes, Mason Greenwood and Ollie White both on, and they were straight into it really there. As you can see, White's ball out wide towards Curtis, and then Greenwood picked it back up after Winchester's shot. And here is White again, finds Carl Winchester, or does he? Yes, he does. Nearly ran through, offside against Guruzeta. 8 minutes left, and we are holding on to a very, very slender lead here. Mason Greenwood finds the ball to Ollie White. We've got seconds left, and there's the full-time whistle. Not clean, not fantastic, but 3 points anyway. That's all I want to say about the game. I don't want to dwell on it too much. We got the job done in the end, but there's definite room for improvement pretty much everywhere. I wouldn't say that we were perfect in any sort of position today, defensively, midfield or attack. Quite a few misplaced passes, a few moments of nervy defending. Ultimately, we got the goal when it mattered. A little bit of quality on show as Saka brought it down at the back post to feed the ball to Winchester just before half-time. 1-0 the final score. We now travel to third from bottom, Rochdale. And as you can see, Greenwood is into the team for Guruzeta. He wasn't quite fully fit. He could have started the game, but I've gone with Greenwood anyways. I'm just trying to work out sort of what my best 11 is at this club right now. Obviously, with Greenwood coming in, Guruzeta there as well. I think George Williams, if we are to get him involved, will probably play out wide in Curtis or Saka's position. Ollie White, though, when he's come into the team off the bench, has done quite well. I contemplated maybe starting him as well instead of Saka or Curtis, but I've left him on the bench for now. When he has come on, he's actually done really well, so he is due a start pretty soon as well. But we should have no problems here. Third from bottom, like I said, Rochdale. They've not started the season off well at all, so this should be a routine 3 points. We know that's not always the case, but we've got to get wins like this if we are seriously trying to push again for another promotion season. Great turn by Mills. Curtis continues his run as well, and now Ronan Curtis inside the penalty area to make it 1-0 Forest Green, and he has done that. I think he's our top scorer right now in League One, which is not something I was expecting to be saying as he is playing out on this left-hand side. But yeah, I think he is. Is that his 4th or 5th goal of the season? Pre-contract works wonders. Won't celebrate it too much because, like I said in the build-up to this should be 3 points. So we just have to make sure that it's a professional performance, try and keep the clean sheet and dominate the game. Here goes Saka, allowed to run at this Rochdale defence. Greenwood holds it up well, finds the run of Lopez, who's in behind. And Lynch has made the save. What a save it is as well, because that should have been 2-0. Lopez, usually in these positions, finds the back of the net. Not this time. And Lynch made himself look very big in that goal. And with his right leg has pulled off the save. And it keeps the score 1-0. But from the balance of play and the way things are going, I feel like it's only a matter of time before we find this second goal. Saka's corner in towards the middle. Rawson was the one attacking it. It's going to fall here for Lopez to flick it up and volley. Tell you what, if that goes in, goal of the season contender right there. But he didn't quite catch it as he maybe would have hoped here, Lopez. Did all right with the technique, but just needed to get a little bit lower, a bit more dip on the ball. And that would have been something that a lot of people would have been talking about for weeks to come had it have gone in. Winchester wins it back for Forest Green in the centre of the park and now drives into the space. Winchester off towards Saka. Bukayo Saka chops it back. Referee he stayed on his feet, so he allows play on. Laquerda's with the shots. Should have gone down, should have got the penalty. I know that's bad of me to say. He's done well for staying on his feet, but there's definitely contact there, and I'm sure the referee would have given the penalty if he had have gone to ground. There wasn't even really advantage played, though, by the ref, as the ball back to Laquerda. Not someone you want to be hitting the shot. He's very good defensively, Laquerda, just not quite as good going forward. And that's why you saw there with the shot really lacking any sort of conviction at all. Here is Morley looking for the ball through. Cut out well by us. There's a minute left and then into injury time. We are now into injury time. 2 minutes added on by the referee. A minute left to hold on to the game. But I'm a little bit disappointed we haven't found a second goal and made this a bit more convincing. Again, it's that 1-0 scoreline. That, don't get me wrong, I love a good 1-0 win. It shows you can defend, but we need to be finding more goals. I feel like goal difference this season could play a huge part. And whenever that we're winning games, they're seemingly only 1-0s at the moment. I mean, we're never in doubt. We definitely were the better team here against Rochdale, and we definitely controlled the game. But it's just, I want to be getting these more convincing wins to make it look better for us and help us out in that goal difference should we need it. So, anyway, we move on. 2 wins from 2 out of the live portion of the day. Albeit both 1-0ers. Curtis's 12-minute strike, enough. Final game of today, Shrewsbury at home, and they are 7th or 8th in the league. So pretty much like for like in terms of the two teams in terms of quality. Maybe we are slightly higher because of Lopez. Nobody else has a 78 rated wonder kid in this league. But we are blessed to have Lopez. Guruzeta comes back into the team in the only change for the game. Again, Ollie White must make do with an appearance off the bench. But with Bristol City coming up in the Carabao Cup, he will start that game. So he's going to get a start in that one. And arguably, that's a more difficult game. So it shows I have the faith in him to maybe perform at that level. Having already knocked out Man City, which I never expected to have done, I feel like I have to now play the rest of the Carabao Cup games for as long as we're in the competition. But we'll see what that brings. Today, though, we want another victory. And let's try and make it a bit more convincing this time, eh? Mills feeds the ball down the line towards Curtis. We've had 63 minutes of football here. And not a lot to show you in the way of chances. Mason Greenwood trying to change that. And the referee's pointed to the spot. An awful game of football here to watch for the neutral. And now we have a penalty to try and take the lead. The game has 0-0 pretty much penciled in here. But we have a chance to change it. Who takes the penalty is the question. I don't know who will be taking responsibility. In my mind, I'm thinking Lopez. Will he just decide to take it? Yeah, Lopez has taken the responsibility. The best penalty kick taker at the club, though, is actually Mason Greenwood. So do we just give it to Greenwood? I feel like we do. Right. Forest Green Rovers 0. Shrewsbury 0. I have absolutely no idea where I'm going to put this. Usually I'm pretty good. I can pick a side. So let's pick this side now. Last second. And I wish I didn't. No! Oh, penalties, man. I didn't have a side in mind, and I should have done. Because if you don't have a side, that's what happens. 0-0 written all over it. Injury time remains here at the New Lawn as Lopez is trying to work a space for a chance. Lopez has done it! And he's hit the post! No! It's been that type of episode really today, hasn't it? Oh, man, Lopez. Just the player you want in that scenario. I feel like I'm having a bit of deja vu because I'm sure I said that earlier. 0-0. We missed a penalty. We hit the post. What can you say at the moment? Either we scrape a 1-0 win or we end up looking like we're not going to score at all. I mean, today, for the neutral, that is one of the worst games of football I think I've played so far. Not entertaining whatsoever. And a 0-0 draw to end off the day. That'll leave us, I think, outside the top 6. The table as it stands, 9 games in. We do remain in the top 6. as you can see, 20 points. We are in 5th place, but look at the goal scored charts and then look at the next lowest towards us in any sort of nearby position. Southend with 14. Our only real saving grace at the moment is that we've only conceded 2 goals, which is a great defensive record, but I want to be scoring goals. I like attacking, free-flowing football, not parking the bus, which we aren't really doing. But the scoreline suggests that, doesn't it? That we are winning games by a goal to nil, and that makes you think that as soon as we get in front, we're just sitting back. And I assure you that is not the case. I am trying to still attack and go at the game. I'd much rather try and outscore an opponent than, you know, try and defend once you kind of smash and grab a victory. I like winning games, you know, 4-2, 4-3, rather than 1-0s. But that's the way our games are going at the moment. But we've still got a long way to go. I'm not really sure what the goal is for this League One season. Should we be aiming for an automatic promotion spot? Is playoffs a very good season? Obviously, coming up from League 2 as champions, you'd expect us to sort of be in sort of mid-table, maybe playoffs. But for the team we've got, especially Lopez, I feel like we should be aiming for a top 2 spot. So I don't really know what the goal is for this year. So maybe you guys want to set one. What do you think we are capable of? Top 2? Playoffs, just outside playoffs, relegation fight. But yeah, that's it for the table then. We'll have a quick look at a squad report, show you very quickly who is doing well in terms of growth and whatnot. If you want to check out any of these players in more detail, just pause it on whichever player you guys want to see more, and you can check them out there. So we've got quite a few players to go through, so I'm going to start scrolling down. Guruzetta's up by 2 already. He is in the training though, so that is why. Montal up by 1. Ollie White's gone up by 2. Lopez up by 1. We've got Curtis Jones, who's here on loan, up by 1. Adams has gone up as well. Ronan Curtis, Bakayo Saka, Lacerda, like I mentioned. Mitchell is being very quiet in terms of the games. He's getting his job done, but he's just been so solid at right back for us so far. And he's up by 4 overalls as well to 68 rated now. Rawson, Jose Antonio, which is what I'm going to be calling our Spanish central defender, up by 1 as well. 8 overalls for Jay Cook, but that's because he is in the training. So that's it for today. A massive thank you for watching. If you have enjoyed it, a like would be greatly appreciated. As always, a huge thank you for all of your support on the channel as well. Until next time, have a great Christmas, guys, if you are watching this on Christmas Day. If you're not, hope you had a great Christmas. Have a great day, have a great evening, and I'll see you all again very, very soon with another video. Until then, adios!